Welcome to Animals House, everyone. Today I am going to show you how I choose to dethatch my lawn out in the country with a lot of acreage. I've got a lot of clippings here. I'm going to choose to scalp the grass down and use dethatching tines, and then I'm going to bag it up, put it on the trailer, and haul it off. Here we go. All right, so let's just take a look real quick at this before and after. So you look at this stuff right here. I've got to kind of dig down like a solid inch to get through this layer of grass, and a lot of this is dead. So that ground has a hard time breathing, in my opinion. I am not a horticulturist at all, but I just kind of noticed that after a while, only certain blades of grass start popping up through and the entire platform is not green. So this is what it looks like after I do my cutting. I scalped this down and now this ground has a chance to breathe. Aeration would be another way to kind of help it breathe, but I kind of find that every few years I do this like scalping process, and that next spring it comes back and it is beautiful. So I'm just going to show you what I do, what machines I use, and it's quite a process with a yard this big. When you start talking about a giant front, I mean, this is just the front yard on one side of the driveway, and you know, we've got on the other side of the driveway, we got behind the house, behind the sheds. So this is going to take, you know, multiple days to do this kind of thing. But by the time we get done and then the thing gets a chance to recover, we're going to have no problem having this grass be nice and healthy and 100% green by the time May rolls around next year. So the very first thing I do is I run with the John Deere X320. I set that mower deck at about 1.75 inches. Then after that pass, that is gonna have a little homemade dethatcher that I've got behind there. It's just a couple of tines, and it's, you know, basically just one row instead of two. Then that's gonna make a pretty significant windrow already that I don't wanna run over again. So I am going to then use the four-wheeler and the 48-inch Ohio Steel lawn sweeper, and I'm gonna pick up what I make from that first pass. I set all of my clippings down near where the trailer is, and when I get a big pile, I literally just load it up like gravel and you know, use the tractor bucket, and then at the end I rake it up by hand. Then once I went through with the very first run with the 320, I've got to cut at 1.75 inches. The next step is I run the X540 past it, and that has the front mount dethatcher. So essentially I'm getting 3 rows worth. I'm getting 1 row of dethatch with like scrape up from that, and then I'm getting 2 more rows from this front one, and then I set this mower deck down to 1 inch. Now obviously you could do this just by using 1 mower, but I've got it set up to use 2 so I can move quicker. I can have 1 person on this lawnmower, 1 person on this lawnmower, and then I run the sweeper, and then we just get things done faster. But basically what that's going to do is that's going to get me down to where I'm totally scalping that grass, and there is a ton of dead grass down in there. And I think really it just, when you look at the old stuff, like the old way, and then you look at here, I don't think some of these layers are able to get enough oxygen or light to thrive. And you know, I'm not a horticulture person, I'm not a lawn person, but I tell you, I've had really good luck with this over the years. All right, let's get this process started. I'll show you real quick. So you can really tell that this thing takes a lot of power. Some areas are a little bit, you know, easier, it's not as thick, but look at the windrow I'm putting out here. That's why I sweep between each one, and it's obvious to me why this is necessary, how much this is putting out. Hi, Ruby. So people in the country, a lot of times, you know, they don't fertilize their lawns. They don't generally get this dense, but I spray liquid fertilizer. I also spray pellet or put pellets down sometimes, and it just builds up a really dense base, and after 3-4 years, this is what you get. Okay, get a look at that real quick. You can see pretty easily where there's a huge windrow just in the first cut, and then you look and you can see almost they're like bringing this back to life to some degree already. I could probably only cut it down that much and be okay, but since I only do this every 3 to 4 years, then I just kind of roll it all the way down and take everything I can. But I mean, there is a lot of material here. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to make a sweeper run, and I'm going to pick up all this stuff and I'm just going to drop it over by the tractor and the trailer. Now I'm already full in the middle. It's kind of crazy. So I didn't even make one pass, and I've got, I think this is an 18 cubic yard lawn sweeper. I'm already full. So I just got to keep going. Now I'm gonna just kind of park this, and I'm gonna work on the next layer. Look at how much grass is coming out of there. There is a lot. Let me tell you, there is a lot. Yeah. This is kind of hard on the back. You gotta twist so much. These labs have such a strong tendency to herd. I don't know, I assume that's in their heritage, but what am I whistling at, you might ask? Well, who else? My wife. Hello, lady! Ruby's face is going to be plastered white with whatever the heck that is on her face when she gets tired. Dog just won't stop. Yeah, but we love it, Ruby. All right, now it's time to load. You know, I always kind of watch my bucket angle so I don't dig. I like to drop the grass that's going to be loaded on the grass that hasn't been cut yet because it's got a little bigger insulation layer. And you know, this is pretty much just like loading up gravel here. I can drive on it. I'm not going to wreck anything. I can drive up on this without an issue. You don't want to wash your truck anytime near you're doing this. So, you know, we had a dry afternoon. The time of year right now that I'm doing this is kind of like the fall time frame. And the reason for that is I do want this new grass, well, like, you know, the area that got scalped, I want that to have a chance to get one rainfall and a little bit of warm weather to kind of come alive a little bit before it gets dormant. I'm pushing it a little bit right now. I'm a little bit late. Like kind of in the north, we've had a couple frost nights, but we haven't had hard frost around here. But you know, plus another reason I like doing it this time of year is the grass is hard enough where I'm not going to have like a big huge rut in the grass because I'm driving the tractor. So what Lex is doing right now is she's going over it a third time. I like to go over it a third time just to kind of clean it up. There's a couple little bit of pieces that don't go, and it just cleans it up nice when you go over it that third time. And then I don't get too crazy about being perfect with cleaning this stuff up because, you know, I'm going to be going over it a bunch of times already. And that's another reason. It's kind of hard for the sweeper to pick up on super flat ground. So I set the sweeper higher and I pick up on the taller grass that hasn't been cut yet. And you know, you can just see how dusty this is. This is fresh cut grass I cut a half an hour ago, and it's really dusty. So it's dry, it's dead, doesn't need to be there, it just needs to go away. It's kind of an insulating layer, I suppose. You could probably argue. It's just, I find that all things considered, the convenience of doing this in the fall with you know, the grass isn't growing super fast right now, and I just kind of push that right up against the tire. The grass isn't growing really fast right now at all. The ground is dry, and You know, we're just before the fall, so this is kind of what I like to do. You guys can make your own decisions, or let me know in the comments what you think you want to do. So, all right, I'm going to keep going here. I got to get myself a little bit more before I call that load full, and then we'll take you off to the recycling center and call it a day. So you can kind of see when you look at it, there's some swirls in here. You know, like right here, I can see there's a couple of swirls. So that's why I run that third pass. That third pass doesn't take a lot of power, but it just cleans that up. If you look at this right here, had the 1.75 pass and the 1-inch pass. And then when you look at this right here, this has had 2 of the 1-inch passes. So once she comes through up there with another pass, we're gonna clean this up even just a little bit more. And that's, like I said, I get one of the sweepers full with the 1.75 pass, and then I get another one with the 1-inch pass, and then I still get like another half of one with that last pass. So I'm still grabbing material. You know, I've been happy with this sweeper. This is a, oh, I take that back. This is a 26 cubic foot lawn sweeper. So there is, like I said, there's a lot of material. I think I've been saying 17 or 18. This is a 26 cubic foot sweeper. That's why I see me kind of struggle pulling that sometimes. When the grass is really wet and that thing is heavy, sometimes I can't even get it. I got to go behind and lift it up manually. So this is kind of a look at her doing that third pass. You can see there's still some coming out, but it's not as thick as what it used to be, and it really cleans it up right there. So I'm real happy with that. So we're gonna get this loaded up, this last bit. We'll have a full load. We're gonna run to the recycling center. You have grass all over, you have white crap all over, and guess who wants to sit in the middle of the truck when we go to the recycling center? Ruby. Anyway, yeah, we're off to the recycling. We'll get this load dumped off. So we got that load dumped. We're getting to be a little bit darker. You can kind of see the shadows and everything. The grass is gonna get a lot wetter. So you can kind of see, I've outlined the process for you. It's definitely quite a system we got. It takes some time. We need a little bit of patience, but I found that works for us really well. So, all right, guys, if you liked the episode, don't forget to click for me. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next episode of Danimal's House.